I'll be the first to admit I'm not super knowledgeable on Pokemon, but I have played a lot of like the DS games, and I think that qualifies me for what I'm going to do in this video, which is rank all the middle evolutions, because a lot of the middle evolutions suck. So I think that would be more interesting than rating the final evolution or the basic form of the Pokemon. Okay, I'm going to be honest, I don't know all of their names. I know the basic evolutions name, but not the middle evolutions, because they're only the middle evolution for like 30 levels, so it's not really something I commit to memory. But I know some of their names, obviously. So Charmeleon's iconic. I don't like the pointy thing on his head, though. I'm really not a fan of that. But because he's so iconic, and the whole Charizard line is already just such a great design, I think he needs to get an A. Ivysaur, it fits really well. It's showing the flower first starting to form a bud, which is pretty clever. Other than that, though, it's pretty basic. So I think it's a good middle of the line B. Wartortle, I usually pick the water starters, and that's also the case for the first generation. That makes me a little bit biased when rating Wartortle. I want to give him a little bit higher of a rating. I also think it's weird that they gave him like the Hermes feathers and a like Cloud Cell just in the second level. It's not something he retains to the third level, so that was an odd choice. But he gets an A for sure. I don't think he deserves an F. Obviously, the Cocoon Pokemon aren't very cool, and there's a lot of them. He can't even attack a lot of the time, so he's for sure F. This one, though, it's got a better design than Metapod for sure, so I think it gets a C. I can't give Pikachu anything other than S. He's too iconic. It would be unfair. I have to give him an S. We all know why. I haven't watched all of the anime, but I've seen a lot of the episodes. Haunter is my favorite Pokemon in the anime, so I'm going to give him an S. He's always been one of my favorite Pokemon. I like him more than Gengar, which is a controversial opinion because Gengar is incredibly popular. Magmar, I think, is this Pokemon's name. He's got huge eyebrows. I don't know. I think this looks like stupid. Okay, there's already a duck Pokemon too, Psyduck, who's way more iconic. So he's going to get F. Just the worst duck Pokemon. This bear... it looks so dumb. I wonder if there's some like Japanese lore behind the circle on its stomach. I think it's so uncreative. It's just a bear. That's literally all it is. With a yellow circle on its stomach, that's an F. F. What were they thinking? He looks basic, right? But hear me out. Mudkip to Swampert is the best evolution line. Mudkip's the cutest Pokemon by far. Swampert's awesome. It's like a solid evolution line. It makes sense. He's a good middle ground, I think. He also has a funny look on his face. Like, it's really plain. I like that. I think it's unique. That's an easy S. In fact, I'm going to put him number 1 S because that's my favorite evolution line. So nothing's getting close. F. Come on. It looks like an onion. What were they thinking? Another F. Try not to be a hater, but I mean, look at that frog. Well, I don't know. Its face is kind of cute. It's got a lily pad on its head. Imagine if you stack a bunch of them, because frogs sit on lily pads. Okay, that's pretty creative. I'll give you a C. I'll give you a C. Aaron's evolution. This is tough. It's a really good middle ground, right? It looks like you just took an in-between of the two Pokemon. So, not super creative, but still a cool looking Pokemon, a cool design. I like the color scheme too. I'm gonna give it B. Oh, if I'm thinking correctly, its evolution was in an Elite Four that I was stuck on for a really long time. So there's a little bit of spite here. It's a really great design. I think it would be deserving of A, but I don't like the Pokemon, so B. Dusclops. I don't know what these 3 things are though. They're kind of weird. And the hat thing, I think that brings it down some for sure. They could have done a much like more intimidating design. I'm gonna give him a C. If they did something better, it could have been an easy A, possibly S, but I doubt it would be an S. This is literally just a sill. Really uncreative, just like the bear, so I'm gonna have to give it F. Turtwig's evolution. I like that they have bushes on it because final evolution is like an island, right? He has trees on him and stuff. Turtwig just has a little sprout on his back, so bushes are good in between a sprout and a tree, right? Other than that, there's nothing really unique about him, so I'll give him an A. Gibble's evolution before Garchomp. Garchomp's probably my favorite pseudo-legendary, but independently, he doesn't have wings, but he has a rocket head. That doesn't really make any sense. And he has thick legs. Not really a realistic Pokemon. So I think that's dragging him down to C. Piplup's evolution. I like the buttons. I think it's a good like in between because obviously in his final evolution he has like a basically a full suit, Empyrean does. So I think he gets a solid A. He's also just really cute. We have Loudred. Loudred is S. That's an easy S. Loudred's awesome. I like his 2 teeth and his like open mouth, like he's yelling. His speaker ears. It's just a really great Pokemon. This is one of the newer Pokemon, and it looks like he's edgy just because he thinks it's cool. Gonna have to give him F. This Pokemon's just a candy apple. I haven't really seen it many times. I think it's from the newest generation, but I think it's pretty creative. I think for the creativity, it deserves an A. Clink, I think it's just 2 gears instead of 1, which is stupid. That definitely deserves an F. Double Edge, I would give it an S. Double Edge, I think, is a really cool design. It may be a little bit basic because it goes from 1 sword to 2, but they're cooler swords because they have arms. You know, okay, now we got Litwick's evolution. I think this is a perfect evolution for Litwick. So it goes Litwick, this Pokemon, like Lampuer or something maybe, and then Chandelure. So it goes from a single candle to a lamp to a chandelier, which like makes sense. It's easy to track. And then Chandelure and Litwick both look pretty different from this, but it still makes sense as an in-between because it's a lamp, right? I think this Pokemon's name is like Charbug or something. It looks like a battery. That's awesome. It's even got like little teeth for positive and negative. I mean, obviously they don't indicate whether they're positive or negative, but I think that's like what it's supposed to represent. I think it's really creative. It may even be like a charger. I don't know. It's hard to tell. But either way, I think it's a great Pokemon. I would give it S. F. Why does its hair look like that? The first evolution is just the orb with like 1 ring, right? And then the third evolution is obviously one of the legendary Pokemon. I feel like they could have done better. This is just stupid looking. They should have made it look like it's about to explode or something. I feel like that would have made more sense, even if it was a little bit too similar to the original. But I think for that it deserves an F. This is just the Fast Bunny. I think they really fumbled with the third evolution, but I think this, it looks so much like a ninja. The third evolution doesn't look that much like a ninja, and there's just no really flaws with the design, so it's a solid S. Emo Elf. Emo Elf is not getting above C. It may even be F. It looks like Eren Yeager. This crocodile, they gave it a sombrero. That's so silly. It sticks to the Mexican theme well. I'll give it that. It's even got like the Day of the Dead face paint. It's a little bit too unnatural, but I think it still deserves at least a B. I don't recognize this Pokemon at all. It's still really cool looking though. Without knowing what its pre-evolution or evolution are, I'm gonna have to go with A because it looks really cool. This is just 2 heads instead of 1 or 3. Again, not creative. C. If you have any major differing opinions, let me know. And that's all for today. Thanks.